Derrel Jazz Johnson, seconds out here with OSCAR VALDEZ. OSCAR, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited and can't wait to step in the ring. It's been a year since my last fight against Shakur Stevenson, and we've been trying to come back, but one thing or another has been holding us back. But now we're here. Feel healthy mentally, physically. We're prepared for this, and just want to come back with a good statement.
I was at your last fight against Shakur. Um, what did you take away from that defeat?
Well, from that defeat, it's definitely a hard pill to swallow, because when you work so hard, when you give it your best and you're disciplined, everything should go the way you want it to be. You should have success. That's what we all think. But sometimes, the guy that you got in front of you is just a better man. It's just a better fighter. And that's a tough pill to swallow as a fighter, because boxers, we got egos. We always assume we're the best in our division. Having someone like Shakur Stevenson in front of me and being trying to land those shots and being so difficult, it was just hard for me to accept the fact that the guy in front of me was just better than me. So, you learn that not all opponents you're gonna be able to knock out all your opponents, and not all opponents are gonna have the same style. We had a perfect sparring partner like Shakur Stevenson, but it wasn't enough the day of the fight. So, what I got from the fight is that it doesn't matter if sometimes if you lose. Even the greats lost. Julio Cesar Chavez and Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard lost. It all depends how you come back. If you come back strong, I feel that's where you start building a bigger legacy.
Before we talk about you, Shakur has since moved up into a very competitive weight class. Uh, who do you think Shakur ranks against those other guys, and is he the best at that class?
That's a very hard question, because obviously I've never fought somebody like Gervonta. I never fought a Gervonta Davis. I've never fought a Devin Haney or Lomachenko as in the professional world. But I have fought Shakur Stevenson, so I can only say what I know from Shakur. And being in the ring with Shakur, is extremely hard to hit that guy. It's extremely hard to fight with somebody who has that ring IQ. And that's Shakur Stevenson. I got nothing but good things to say about Shakur, because he's just a talented fighter. He's just a natural boxer. He's got great defense, great footwork, speed. He's got everything. I do put him in the top of 135, but only because I faced him. But you got someone like Tank, who's a monster in the side of the ring. You got someone with that great experience like Lomachenko, and you got Teofimo. There's a lot of 135 division is extremely hard, but I do see Shakur being on the top right there.
And you mentioned Gervonta. What were your thoughts on Gervonta versus Ryan? What are your thoughts on the main event on Saturday?
Well, Gervonta, I was very impressed by his performance against Ryan Garcia. I will admit, me training with Ryan before in the late camps, I see the power that Ryan has. I've seen the way he knocks out his opponents in sparrings, and I was actually betting that Ryan was going to win, and Tank just proved me at least wrong. He showed amazing speed, that power he always carries. And one thing that impressed me the most is, the first time that he dropped him, he didn't go out there reckless and trying to knock out his opponent. He stayed composed, he stayed smart, and that's what got him the victory. He stayed calm, composed, and little by little he picked him with that body shot, and it was enough to finish the fight. A lot of people were saying, why didn't Ryan continue? I would say those body shots are extremely hurtful. And Tank did the perfect game plan. He hit with that body shot and also played the mind game, saying that I'm gonna eat you up, and he won the fight. So take my hat off to Tank Davis, because he showed a lot of boxing skills that night. And for this fight, Devin Haney, Lomachenko, if I'm a betting man, it's a stay away bet for me, because sometimes I can picture Lomachenko throwing all that experience that he has and taking him to deep waters. But also I look at Haney, and I think at his age, the youth in him. I see his weight advantage, the reach advantage, his boxing skills, and it's a tough one, because I can see Devin Haney just outboxing someone like Lomachenko. But it's a tough one for sure. I wouldn't know who to pick if I'm a betting man. So like I said, it will be a stay away bet for me, because it's a 50-50 fight for me.
Talk about overcoming that adversity to be in this position, to to get in the ring on Saturday, and talk about how your camp went.
My camp went so well, so well. You know, we were in training camp in Guadalajara prior to Canelo's fight with his last opponent, and we've been ready, man. I've been training for the longest due to I had to stop for the longest because I had a rib injury. I broke two of my ribs here in my back, and had to stop for a moment. But I've been training. I've been training very hard, physically, mentally, prepared for this fight. You know, I feel I was born to fight, man. It's been a year since my last fight, and it's feel like an eternity for me. So right now, I just want to prove a statement. I want to show that I'm still at my top. You know, Shakur went up the division, so 130 division. There's other fighters right there who won the titles, and I'm going for those belts. But right now, I got someone like Adam Lopez, who I can't take nothing lightly. He also trains hard. He also wakes up to run in the mornings. He also hits the bag. He also spars. He also has that dream to become a world champion. So I can't take this fighter lightly. You can never bet against someone who carries a strong dream, strong belief. So I'm ready to give him my best, give him it all, and do whatever it takes to come out victorious.
And if and when you are victorious Saturday night, what's next for OSCAR Valdez?
For world titles, you know, there's a lot of talks of Vaquero Navarrete. I don't like thinking about any other opponent except for the opponent I got in front of me. But everybody else mentioned Vaquero Navarrete, so if the people want it, I want it. And I want the belt. You know, my main goal is to become a world champion again. And then my goal in the long run is to become one of the great Mexican fighters. So for that to happen, I first got to win this fight. Then I got to win my next fight for the world title. And then I got to maybe unify. Maybe in the future we might be able to move into another division. But the sky's the limit for me. So there's always goals in the future.
Bob did mention that fight possibly being next. Have you spoken to Bob about that being next for you?
No, we haven't spoken. We spoke a while before when we were going to fight Vaquero Navarrete prior to my rib injury, but not no more because I think my manager do that. Besides, that's one thing, but another thing is I don't like thinking about another opponent besides the fighter that I got in front of me. So right now, I still haven't talked about that fight, but hopefully, God willing, once this fight's done, you know, we'll talk about it.
Last question from me. There's a question now. Who is the face of boxing? Who is the face of boxing to you?
To me, I gotta be completely honest, it's still Canelo. Because when you go up to casual fans and you mention a fighter, they all mention Canelo. But the one I see coming up right now, it's got to be Gervonta Davis. Everywhere I go, I also mention it. I always say. So for me, the face of boxing is always going to be not the boxing fans, but the casual fan, the people someone like my grandmother who doesn't know much about boxing, but she starts hearing the name, and she always hears maybe Canelo, or somebody in the streets who doesn't know nothing about boxing, but he knows Gervonta Davis. I think that's when the face of boxing, that's when you can give somebody the name, the face of boxing. Also, he's got to be the guy winning as well. So I see Canelo, and when Canelo leaves, either it's going to be Gervonta or Shakur.
Thank you for your time. Good luck on Saturday. Derrel Jazz Johnson with OSCAR Valdez, Seconds Out.
Good time, brother. Good talking.